Anna and the Apocalypse was released in 2017, directed by John McPhail. Is that how you pronounce it? Written by Alan McDonald and Ryan McHenry, and was described in the trailers as Shaun of the Dead meets La La Land. So, let's get into it. Watching this movie in 2023 is it's not funny, but it's like, ooh, they may have predicted something. So when this movie came out, Ebola was a thing, the Ebola outbreak, and they reference the Ebola outbreak in this movie, just at the very start as well, and it's just like, this movie could be released this year and just change Ebola with COVID, and it's the exact same movie. Genuinely, like, terrifying how well they got a few things. So at the start of the movie, our lead girl Anna tells her dad that she doesn't want to go to university this year. She wants to travel for a bit and then go to university. And he does the typical parent like meltdown where he's like, "You must go to university. Like, how will you cope in the outside world if you don't have a degree? Like, not like you can get a job without a degree. Like, shut up. Like, he's a janitor. Did he get a janitor's degree? I don't think so. Kids, little advice: high school high school does not matter at all. Like, if you get bad grades in high school, you can still go quite far, and university isn't like the be all and end all. So like the review from the trailer may suggest, this movie is a zombie musical. It's a very interesting concept, and I think for this movie it works so well. But I feel like if like a big production company had made this, like if Disney had made this, it would have flopped so hard. But because of how like bad this movie is, it works really well. The songs in it are like incredibly good. I think there's only one song that I actually don't like in this whole movie, but like all the others I'm just like bobbing along to them. So this was actually the third time I've watched the movie. The first time I could not get past the very first like scene. I was just so bored. Like by the time like Anna walks into the school and like goes like off somewhere, I was like, I'm done with it. This is so boring. Like, if you can't grip me in the first like 5 minutes of the movie, I'm like gonna be out for the whole thing. Then last year I thought, you know what, I need to like build up my Christmas horror movie repertoire. I need to watch more Christmas horror movies. So I was like, ugh, I'll give this another go. Literally watched 3 more seconds after I ended it, and the first song came on, and I was like, oh my god, what? A Christmas zombie horror movie musical? Love it. Best concept on earth. I do think the musical aspect really saves this movie, because without it, there are genuinely like really touching scenes and really like hard-hitting scenes, and then they instantly break into song, and it literally saves the movie. If this movie was like a serious zombie movie, it would not work at all. So the high school drama teacher is about to become headmaster in January. So then in the next month he's going to become headmaster, and oh my god, I absolutely despise high school drama teachers, because they think they're at the top of like theatre and acting, and they are the best, and it's, oh my god, they piss me off so much. Like, if you think you're like one of the best actors out there, or like you can teach acting, if you're teaching high school students to act, you're not, well, you could be good at your job, but like, you are a high school teacher. You're not the best in the business, so stop acting like it. I was literally like Steph in high school. Like, I absolutely love her. I think it's genuinely like funny that Anna doesn't notice the very first zombie she comes across. I do think for the most part, high schoolers would be completely oblivious to the like apocalypse. I think they got that very well. So one of Anna's friends, Lisa, she sings a song for her boyfriend in the Christmas talent show or production or whatever it is, and it's the most sexualized song. She even gets like topless male dancers behind her that are just wearing like shorts and suspenders and Santa hats.
Let me tell you, if you're feeling frozen stiff, my fire's burning hot for you.
It's the most sexualized song, and they're supposed to be like, they're supposed to be 16. Like, they're 15, 16, and it's just like, stop. I genuinely don't know how she got away with it. Like, if this was my high school, the show would have been completely stopped there and then. Like, someone would have done something, and like the drama teacher just walks backstage and does nothing. So even though this is like a zombie musical movie, the thing that got me was it's set in the UK and it starts to snow in December, and I was like, nah, this is not realistic. In England, the UK, it snows in January, and that's it, basically. I've never known it to snow in December. So at first I thought this was set in Scotland because the character John, he has like a really thick accent, and I assumed it was Scottish. Turns out it's set in Wales. He must have like a weird Welsh accent that I've never heard of. I think it's so funny that Anna's like completely oblivious. Like, she's walking to school and there's zombies and like carnage just happening all around her, and she's just skipping down the road singing a song, and it's just like, it's so funny how oblivious she is. I do think it's really funny as well because it's not exactly like what happens day to day in England, but the level of like carnage that is happening is just like day to day at the moment. I need to buy the album from this movie because, like, apart from, like I said, one song, it's like all the rest are amazing. I have saved them to my like Spotify list, but I really need to buy this. So after Anna and John realise that zombies are real, well, Anna doesn't at first. She sits there, she decapitates someone, and then sits there and denies that zombies are real, even though the head is still alive. Beautiful. They decide to go to the school to like, to find like a safe space, and I couldn't think of a worse place to go. Like, yes, a school could be fortified, but imagine spending the apocalypse with your teachers. Like, I'd shoot myself. When they're going over the internet, they find that people are doing like apocalypse selfies with like with zombies, and I genuinely think this is the most Gen Z thing I've ever seen. Like, 100%. There are two really like original deaths in this, or deaths, zombie killings in this movie that I've not seen anywhere else really. So the first one is Steph smashes the head of a zombie down, like decapitates a zombie with a toilet seat. And the second, I can't remember the guy's name. It might be John or the other guy. So he just slams two bowling balls together and like smashes the zombie's head. I do think like where this movie like lacks in like it visually looks bad, but like it's so creative, this movie. It's like, it's amazing. There is a scene where Steph gets groped by a zombie, and like at first she's not really like fighting back, and she's just like, oh no, go away. And then the zombie gropes her and she's like, hell no, and stabs him. Beautiful. So like I was saying before, there is this scene where like bombs start going off around the city, and they can hear like loads of explosions, and like it gets like really like somber and like you can feel like the darkness set in, and then they instantly all break out in song, and it's like this. Like I said before, if this movie was just a serious movie and it wasn't a musical, it'd be so bad. So Soldier at War is the only song I don't like in this movie. I think it's because like the typical like jocks sing it, and it's just like, I would kill myself if I was ever trapped in an apocalypse with a bunch of sporty lads from school. Like, oh my god, that'd be the worst thing on earth. Teenage boys would be the most vile people in the apocalypse, and you know, like 100%. I didn't notice the first time I watched this movie, and I should have because I collect them, but there's an Astrognome in the Christmas tree scene, and I was just like, yes! I absolutely love the Astronomes. I only collect like the Christmas and Halloween ones. I absolutely love them. Throughout the movie, I really like the group dynamic between Steph, John, and Anna. And there's a fourth guy. I don't know his name. No. Completely blank. But like the four of them together, it's a really nice dynamic. And then obviously they start getting picked off one by one. John sacrifices himself because him and Anna are between a group of zombies, and John's already been bitten, and then the rest of them are on the other side trying to like kill enough zombies so they can get out. And because John's been bitten, he wraps himself around Anna and then backs up into the group of zombies, which is quite like, it's a very creative way to like make sure that she doesn't get bit even though you're gonna die. Very good sacrifice. What makes this scene funnier as well is because just before this, she tells him that like he obviously has feelings for her, and like she outright tells him, you are nothing more than a friend to me, like you are my best friend and that is it, like stop. She doesn't say it exactly like that, she was a bit nicer, but it's what she was implying. The first time I watched this, I didn't realise until like I actually saw it what the drama teacher had done to the parents. Like, I actually thought that they'd chosen to stay in the school, and then when he puts the kids in the room with a group of zombies, I'm like, oh fuck, what a cunt. Like an absolute B word. We can't swear on YouTube anymore, can we? So the drama, I should learn his name, but like the drama teacher, his villain song, okay, right. So there's two songs I don't like in this movie then, but his villain song is like, it just shows how unhinged he is, and he's honestly crazy. Like, he thinks that like being a head teacher is the most important thing you could do with your life, and it's just like, stop. His name was Chris. The fourth guy in the group is Chris. So I hate that the zombies like get Chris and then get his girlfriend just after he's like had this really like, he's realised that his nan's dead and his girlfriend's alive, so he's like sad and happy at the same time, and then he gets bitten, or she gets bitten, and then he's just like no, and then he gets bitten and he's like yes, we can die together. Apart from that bit, I was distraught that they like killed him off, because I thought that like him and Steph actually had a better dynamic together. I thought they could be like an apocalypse couple, but it was very obvious that Steph liked him, but it wasn't the other way around, because obviously he had a girlfriend. When the drama teacher dies, he deserved it so much. So like at the start of the movie, there's a scene where someone doesn't tie like a star down properly and it swings across the stage, and then obviously Anna witnessed this and then remembers it later on in the movie when the drama teacher tries to kill her dad by like pushing him into a crowd of zombies. She gets her dad to duck and then gets the star to hit the teacher, and he falls into the group of zombies and dies. He fucking deserved it. Unfortunately though, while the drama teacher was trying to push Steph's dad into the zombies, one did scratch him or bite him, it's not specified. And it's so like, because sometime before this movie, it's implied that Steph lost her mum. Like, it seems very raw at the moment, so it must have been within the last year or so. So like she's just lost her mum, she's now lost her dad, she's lost her best friend. Everyone's dying around her. So everyone's dying around her and it's just like, it's not her year. And at this point it's Christmas Day. Like how unlucky could you get? So right at the end of the movie, there's, right at the end of the movie, Anna and one of the sporty jocks that obviously fancy her, have just like, they are surrounded by like 50 zombies and they're like, we can't get out of this, we're just gonna die. So they accept that they're about to die, and then Steph drives in with a car and she's like, get in, losers.
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
Like, I love that Steph saves the day. Right at the end of the movie, so like, you can see the car driving off. If you watch that like car advert where the car's like driving around the road and then a zombie jumps, scares you, that happens in this movie, but it's a Santa zombie. This scene is the apex of Christmas horror movies. It is everything I've wanted from a Christmas horror movie. So if you haven't seen this movie yet, I would suggest 100% going watching it. It is on Shudder. It should still be available. I would rate this movie like a 7 out of 10. I would rate it higher, but the very first part of the movie, like the intro, is terrible. I honestly love this movie. I think it's got so many like good points that it just outweighs the bad. It's very clear that this movie had a very low budget, but that did not affect anything in the movie apart from the very first few minutes. It made me realise that I never knew that I needed a zombie Christmas horror movie musical in my life, but I honestly love this movie so much. So I hope you liked that video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you did, and share it with your friends. Bye.